Hello trader, welcome back to another weekly forex forecast for the first week of April 2025. Now, as first week, as you know that this week as well quite eventful with NFP coming on Friday and starting with AUD RBI rate statement on Monday and Tuesday. So this is gonna be pretty volatile day, as euro as well gonna be volatile due to German preliminary CPI coming up on the first day of trading week, followed by AUD as well as dollar. And then throughout the week we can see quite a few high impact news that definitely will have increased volatility in those pairs that you can see on the list: DXY, euro dollar, GBPUSD, NZDUSD, Aussie dollar, gold, dollar yen, GBPJPY, WTI, and dollar CAD. These are the instruments currently we will be looking to see what kind of trading opportunity we may have throughout the week. Now, before in-depth analysis trader, also let's quickly review our past week's analysis on DXY to see how the market has done at the end of the week. Look at the 4-hour chart on DXY. We can see the market in that lower time frame as it is currently trending locally. We can expect for the price to potentially move back up, grab the liquidity, and then to drop down again to that support level. This is the level this is the wave that we can expect on DXY. Okay, so as we expected DXY to retest this level and then to drop back down, we see that the market almost has done exactly the same way. The market has reached that level, grabbed that liquidity, form an head and shoulder, and potentially creating a downtrending market structure. So the market has followed the pattern. Let's look at now in this week what kind of trading opportunity we can find in those instruments. Now, before in-depth analysis traders, make sure that also you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. So without further delay, let's get started. Okay trader, so let's begin with DXY. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have in this instrument, starting with first of all monthly chart to see overall picture in this market, as DXY will give us clear direction about all the USD pairs including gold. So looking at first of all bigger picture will give us a clear idea about the smaller picture. So looking at monthly here, this is almost a closed candle. And this monthly price action on DXY, we can see that there was a significant bearish move here in this instrument. And with that bearish drop from the monthly, the price has dropped to that support level here at the moment. And what I think that this price may continue to drop here to create a new lower low in this market. So any pullback can give us potential selling opportunity, as it is still bear market. If we look at the weekly chart here, we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is the weekly price action, and where the market is structured also, we can see that as expected bearish. We have seen that there was a weekly strong breakdown here followed by this pullback, and this current weekly candle that has closed with a long wick doji from that resistance line from this doji, and we can expect in this market for the price to, after a pullback, potentially drop back to that support or even to create a new lower low in this market. If we look at the daily chart here, we can see that from the daily, this is the daily price action where the market is structured, again showing significantly bearish. This is a huge drop on the daily and followed by this pullback. Now, if we closely look at this pullback on the daily, we can see that there was a move and then doji and a green bullish move. The market immediately rejected from that level with this stronger bearish candle is the sign that the price may drop here, as this is a false breakout to that liquidity zone above the daily 20 EMA. As the price moves from liquidity to liquidity, if we look at the 4-hour chart, guys, you have seen our previous analysis as well. This is what we exactly expected on DXY, for the market to go ahead, retest, and then to drop back again. And we can see that the market has formed this head and shoulder here, and with that head and shoulder formation, the price has managed to break below. And with that break, what we can expect in this market for the price to go ahead, retest, and then to potentially trend again in that direction to that support level to create a new lower low. So any pullback on DXY is an opportunity for us to trend this market to this level. So this could be the wave for the upcoming week. On DXY, what I think that even we could see potentially a new lower low in that market. So DXY next week we can expect with the NFP potentially a downtrending market. So that could lead euro dollar to be an uptrending market potentially. If we look at the monthly on euro dollar, we can see that also monthly price action showing so far stronger bullish impulse. We saw that there was a gap open here on the monthly on euro USD, and with that gap open, this is the monthly bullish impulse, and we can see that from that level the price had made its move to the upside with a stronger momentum here. And this is a bull market on euro USD, expecting after initial pullback for the price to potentially go ahead to create a new higher high. This is an important monthly resistance here, and we could see the price potentially going ahead, filling that zone, or at least to retest that level. Now dropping down to the weekly chart here, we can see that with this weekly impulse, this is a weekly bullish impulse we have seen that a couple of weeks ago, followed by here we can see in that area. Let's look at euro dollar. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have in this instrument. Now euro dollar, looking at the bigger picture, looking at the monthly chart to see overall picture in this market. Now from the monthly we can see that euro dollar also long-term bull market. There was a gap open here on the monthly on euro dollar, and with that gap open, the market made its move to the upside with a stronger momentum. And what we can see here at the moment is, as this is a bull market, we can see monthly candle is almost closed. We can expect further trend continuation in this market to create a new higher high. If we look at the weekly chart to see how the price is evolving, we can see that from the weekly as well, this is also significantly bullish market. Starting from here, this is a weekly impulse followed by this pullback, and this is weekly doji formation as expected in our previous weekly forex forecast. Also the market has broken below, and from that zone has made its move to the upside with a stronger momentum. Now looking at the daily chart on euro dollar, we can see a bit more clearer picture here. There was a daily drop here. Now this drop is quite important. As we can see, there is a straight red drop to the daily 20 EMA, and followed by we can see there is a daily bullish engulfer. What we have seen, the market has broken that daily 20 EMA low, grab the liquidity and form a bullish engulfer here. And this is also the daily candle formation here, expecting euro dollar potentially to trend to the upside to create a new higher high in this market. So looking at the 4-hour chart here on euro dollar, we can see that from this lower time frame, this is potentially a change of trend here. This is a downtrending market structure creating series of lower high and lower low, followed by we see there is a neckline formation here. The market started its move to the upside potentially with a 4-hour doji formation here. And what I think that here in that area, we could see that euro dollar potentially breaking below, grabbing that liquidity and then bouncing back to the upside. We can expect deeper pullback, potentially retest of this neckline, and then trending to the upside to create a new higher high in this market. So this could be the potential wave on euro dollar for the upcoming week. Now let's look at GBPUSD. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we might have. Looking at the monthly chart on British pound US dollar, we can see that from the monthly perspective, this is the monthly impulse here on GBPUSD, which is quite a strong bullish price action. And we are almost at the end of the month, expecting GBPUSD to come down for a pullback and then to potentially trend again to the upside to create a new higher high. If we look at the weekly chart here on British pound US dollar, we can see that from the weekly also showing that bullish impulse. This is the weekly move followed by this pullback, another move followed by, we can see the deeper pullback here, and this is also the weekly impulse. We can see back to back 3 weeks potentially sideways movement, followed by last week we saw a bullish candle formation here. What we can expect on GBPUSD for the market after initial pullback, what I think that we could see the bulls may try to break that high, as there is a liquidity here above this level. We could see the market potentially trending to that level to create a new higher high to potentially continue to that uptrend. Now if we look at the daily chart, as we expected in the previous weekly forex forecast, you guys have seen that the market in fact exactly crossed that 20 EMA on the daily, form a bullish engulfer, followed by last day of trading week we saw a very narrow doji formation here. And with the narrow doji, what we could see that this week for the market, what I think that if the sellers manage to break this low, this is a strong buying zone here. We might see that buyers again buying from that zone. With that being said, from the 4-hour chart here we see an impulse, and this is a potential pullback here, expecting on GBPUSD for to drop further, grab liquidity, and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high. This could be the potential wave on British pound US dollar for the upcoming week. Now let's look at NZDUSD. Again, looking at monthly to see how the market is evolving in that market. Now from the monthly perspective, we can see that NZDUSD after the previous monthly doji formation, this is the monthly candle here with a long wick at the top in that area, and with that monthly candle formation on NZDUSD, from this support level we have seen there is a very strong bounce here, and we could see that NZDUSD going back up to fill that long wick at the top, expecting NZDUSD potentially this month as well potentially to remain bullish. Now if we look at the weekly chart here, we can see that from the weekly, this is the weekly pin bar here, which is a long wick doji, and also we can see this week so far we have seen with the continuation of the drop, and if the market managed to break below here, there is a buying pressure in that area. We could see that NZDUSD breaking below, grabbing the liquidity, and then trending to the upside to create a new higher high. So dropping down to the daily chart here on NZDUSD, we can see that the uptrending market is remaining here. This is an important support level here on NZDUSD with a resistance line in that area. It's moving in that channel, and we could see that the price potentially to retest and then to bounce back up, as we still can see that uptrending continuation. Last day of trading week we saw a red bear candle that might give that NZDUSD a momentum in that direction, and then bouncing back up to create a new higher high. So looking at the 4-hour chart on NZDUSD, we can see that there was a semicircular structure here which is potentially breaking below. That might give that price to this support level to grab liquidity, and this could be the potential wave on NZDUSD for the upcoming week, and we may see the price is bouncing back here to the upside to create a new higher high. Now AUD, as first day of trading week, we'll see the euro followed by AUD news coming on Tuesday. We could see that this instrument as well potentially getting volatile here. Looking at the monthly chart on AUDUSD, we can see that from the monthly perspective, this is the monthly price action so far. We have seen there was a significant breakout on the monthly, followed by this pullback here on AUDUSD, and we could see the price again potentially bouncing back here to create a new higher high. If we look at the weekly chart here on AUDUSD, we can see that from the weekly there is a long wick doji here. What we could see that this week potential retest of that support, and what I think the continuation to the upside, as the market is still maintaining series of higher low in that area, and monthly price action is bullish. If we look at the daily chart here on AUDUSD, we can see that the price is respecting that support level, creating series of higher low. So as we are expecting most USD pairs for the market initially to drop here, break that support and then potentially to trend again to the upside in the major direction. Now looking at the 4-hour chart here on AUDUSD, we can see that this is the 4-hour perspective with a long wick bearish engulfer. What we can expect on AUDUSD for the market to potentially break below, grab the liquidity, and then to bounce back up. This could be the potential wave for the upcoming week on AUDUSD. Now let's look at XAUUSD. This was incredibly volatile past week. We had quite a few incredible trade on gold past week, and this week as well we are expecting good move on gold. Let's look at now from the bigger picture perspective. First of all, what kind of trading opportunity we might have in this instrument. Now looking at monthly chart, as you can see, gold is breaking out and it's in an all-time high, and we may see that potential trend continuation as monthly price action showing significant bullish, and even with the new monthly open we even could expect a gap open and then bounce back up. So let's see now from the weekly what kind of price action it has formed here. Now as we expected from the previous weekly analysis for the price to go ahead and fill that long wick, we can see the market has moved that zone, fill that long wick here, and with that long wick fill we see the market is still maintaining that uptrending market structure in that area. So this week as well we may see that XAUUSD potentially trending to the upside here. Now if we look at the daily chart, we can see that from the daily perspective, this is the daily last day of trading week, and that daily candle here, what we can see, there was a gap open and full body green candle back to back 2 days, which is a potential an impulse here. Now what we can see here from the daily, this is an impulse, narrow correction, another impulse, deeper correction. So therefore this is another impulse on that uptrend, and this after this daily candle, as you will see a new daily opening, we can expect either gap open or initial pullback and then continuation to the upside to create a new higher high. So looking at the 4-hour chart here on XAUUSD, we can see that the market is in that bullish impulse here. This is where the 4-hour move followed by this pullback with a long wick doji formation here, and we can see here every session the market is forming series of higher low with a long wick candle. And if we look at the 1 hour to see a little broken picture on XAUUSD, we can see that there was a break of a structure. This red candle is quite significant. If we look at the ATR value, we can see that this is more than 1 ATR, and that break has crossed back to back to 1 hour liquidity zone and then crossing the 20 EMA from a bullish engulfer. So this return back to the upside with this green candle completed an inverted head and shoulder with the right shoulder upper than the left shoulder, which has giving a potential for a trend continuation in this market. So any pullback on the lower time frame can give us potential bullish opportunity on XAUUSD. As soon as we will find suitable entry, we will be looking for entry in this market. Now traders, also if you want to have more updates, that I do post a lot of content as well as the daily live analysis, live trades in the free Telegram channel. Also you can find link below this video where you can find all the updates that I'm posting every single day. Now let's look at yen pairs to see what kind of trading opportunity it is making. Now looking at dollar yen here, we can see that from the monthly chart on dollar yen, this is the monthly price action on dollar yen. From this resistance line, this is a big drop here on the monthly on dollar yen with a long wick candle formation. And with that long wick on dollar yen from the monthly, what I think that now as the monthly candle closing, we can expect potentially a continuation of that monthly long-term trend, as what we have seen here, a monthly move, pullback, another move, and we can see that back to back 3 months of drop here with a long wick candle. We could see that from the monthly dollar yen trending to the upside here for long-term picture. Now if we look at the weekly chart here on dollar yen, we can see that from the weekly back-to-back 3 weeks bull move, and last week we saw a pin bar here, and that pin bar, what I think that is potentially a weak fill possible here. Either we could see break of structure from the weekly, which highly likely to happen as below this level there is a high liquidity on the weekly on dollar yen, and then potentially move back up to fill that long wick at the top. Now dropping down to the daily chart here on dollar yen, we can see that this is the daily drop here. Now this daily bearish candle is also quite important, as this ATR value of this candle is more than 1 ATR, and the price directly hit that important support level on dollar yen, and we may see that the market is after this retest potentially again continuing to the upside to the long-term direction of the trend. Now 4-hour chart here on dollar yen, we can see that in this lower time frame, this is the 4-hour perspective on dollar yen with a move, pullback, another move, and the market is trending in that direction. And at the moment, what I think that dollar yen, this is a very important support here on dollar yen. As soon as we will find that suitable entry on dollar yen, we will be looking for going long with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at GBPJPY. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have in this market. Now looking at the monthly chart on GJ, we can see that from the monthly, as expected, this month we have seen there was a significant bullish impulse in that area. Now this is almost at the end of the month, and the candlestick pattern formation is potentially a return back to the major direction of the trend, and this month as well, what I think that GJ may continue to rise here to that resistance line to create a new higher high. If we look at the weekly perspective here on GBPJPY, we can see that there is a weekly doji followed by gap open, and every week the market is forming series of higher low in that area on GJ. And last week we saw a candle with a gap open with a long wick at the top, expecting for this market to go ahead, fill that long wick, and potentially continue to trend to the upside to this resistance line. Now if we look at the daily chart here, we can see that from the daily perspective, GBPJPY, here is a daily trend here, and from here we can see an impulse correction, another impulse correction. So the market is forming series of higher high and higher low, which is a typical uptrending market structure on GBPJPY. And what we can expect on the 4-hour chart, we can see that the market has broken from the structure, and this is the previous support here, and with that support GBPJPY waiting for the market to break below, grab liquidity, and then potentially to trend again to create a new higher high in this market. Now let's look at WTI. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we may have in this market. Looking at the monthly chart on WTI, we can see that from the monthly, this is the monthly price action here with a monthly bear candle followed by another monthly candle with a long wick at the bottom here. From the monthly, as WTI formed that long wick candle, what we could see that this month, what I think that the price may try to fill that long wick in that direction. So back to back 2 months bear move, we could see that this month also the price at least to come back to that previous support level before any pullback to the upside here. So looking at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly also this is the weekly move here on WTI, followed by we have seen that back to back 3 weeks long wick candle formation. And I think that this week we might see that after initial pullback for the market to drop again to that support level. Now if we look at the daily chart here, we can see there is a daily bearish engulfer here. Now at the same time, this is maintaining still a bullish market structure here. What I think that this week we might see the price again moving up for another liquidity grab, and we could see that potential trend continuation in this market. So looking at the intraday perspective, here is we see the breakout structure, but the price still didn't retest that support, turning resistance here we can expect for this market to retest and then to potentially trend again. That could be the potential wave on WTI. And let's see throughout the week what kind of price action we may see in this market. Now looking at dollar CAD, and this is NFP guys, we can see the dollar CAD quite a few days in a sideway, but we may see that potential trend in this market with NFP. Now looking at the monthly chart on dollar CAD, we can see that after this monthly bear candle with a long wick at the bottom, we can expect dollar CAD to potentially break below to the support level here, and we may see the downtrending market structure on dollar CAD. Now if we look at the weekly chart here, we can see that from the weekly there is a weekly doji followed by series of lower high here, and what we could see that on dollar CAD for the market to potentially retest this resistance and then to trend again in that direction to create a new lower low. Now looking at the daily chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from the daily, this is the daily price action here. The market was forming series of lower high in that area on the daily on dollar CAD, and as this is the 4-hour chart, expecting dollar CAD potentially to bounce back up, grab liquidity, and then to trend again to create a new lower low. Now looking at the 4-hour chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from this lower time frame, this is a an important level of support here on dollar CAD. There's a trend line here. What I think that the price may break from that triangle, and we could see that potentially trend continuation, as upon break of this structure we could see liquidity grab, and there's a possibility to drop, but at the same time we still could see sideways movement during the NFP. We might see that potential breakout or breakdown. So let's see what kind of opportunity during the NFP. Also I will be posting an update, guys. Make sure you stay connected by joining the free Telegram channel. So with that being said, thank you for joining this weekly Forex forecast. Traders, thank you, and I'll see you again very soon trading live together. Until that, stay well, stay happy. If you want to explore more about the trading program that we are trading every single day, you can find link below this video. Currently we have 95% off going on joining the mentorship program, so check out the link below this video to find out more. With that being said, thank you, and I'll see you very soon again trading live together. Until that, stay well, stay happy.